So here's the real million-dollar question. Is it gonna say we can recruit Yuri now? Because that's what I'm wondering about, because if it doesn't... Yep, okay, because if it didn't, there would probably be more to his story. But no, we can actually recruit... Oh, this could spoil some things. Are they on here yet? Yeah, they are. Also, yeah, Eureka's portrait's different now. So can I see their full support list at this point? Oh, okay. So... he does support a few people. It's just outside of the Ashen Wolves. It's just that none of them are there, so you wouldn't know that. Interesting, I was wondering if his support would be limited to faculty and church-aligned characters, but no. Dorothea's interesting. Ingrid, that could be interesting too. So, yeah, and he's an S support option for both Byleths. For Balthus, we've got... oh, Lysithea, that's interesting. But yeah, looks like he's pretty exclusively Golden Deer. Because I was thinking when I first saw Balthus that he'd actually secretly be like a kingdom noble and that he'd actually be more of a Blue Lions character, but no. Constance? Okay, so Constance is very much, yeah. I was about to say, is she one of the only people who support a lord? But obviously no, because Claude and Balthus. But yeah, she leans more to... oh, Euritza. Oh, that would be interesting. So hey, Euritza finally has a few more supports. It wasn't just Bernadetta that this DLC added. So yeah, she leans more towards Black Eagles as I expected, but she does have Mercedes. Maybe her house was in contact with House Bartels? Anyway, and she supports all of the others. So do any of them... okay, yeah, it looks like none of them have supports that only go to C. And finally, Happy, who, yeah, she seems to definitely lean more towards... oh, that's interesting. Everyone she supports is available in Cindered Shadows. So she has no support with people outside of that. And I guess if we look at Euritza now, yeah, they've added Bernadetta and Constance. So, okay, yeah, also, they didn't add anything... no, they didn't add anything new to Rhea. So that's that all checked out. Didn't really spoil much, so let's continue. Okay, new chapter. Because where do we go from here? I have a feeling where we might go from here.
Cindered Shadows. Wolf Pack.
Okay. Now, there are no chapter numbers, so we don't know if this is the final chapter or not. I feel like we're getting pretty close to the end.
Elfric, cease this at once.
Oh, okay, there was even more to his flashbacks.
It is too late. The chalice is filled to its brim with the blood of the Four.
Is this a flashback, or is this happening right now?
Should their blood prove insufficient, I will spill even my own blood to finish this.
The chalice cannot return her soul, Elfric.
Because it's currently in Byleth, I'm guessing.
It is incapable even of returning the body to life.
Oh, what? Dialogue option, does that mean Byleth's here?
Be not afraid. Today your mother returns to us.
So yeah, Byleth is here. Okay, this is weird. Where, like, what? Where are we cutting in here? Like, Byleth somehow found Alfric and his dead and Rhea's here too? I'm confused. Like, how did we get here?
The time has come. Perhaps I am not an equal man to him, but I am here by your side, Citri. Citri.
The chalice. It absorbed both of them.
Oh, okay, so this takes place immediately afterwards, I'm guessing.
An aberration. What is it? An umbral beast?
I think this is new music too.
So I see. It is just as the last time the ritual was performed.
Oh, okay, well, I guess we're totally right about that chalice being a seal that you shouldn't mess with. Whenever anything is sealed away, it's usually for good reasons, but you also kind of probably should have told people, you know that chalice, well, using it will kind of fuse you with the person you're trying to resurrect and turn you into a big horrifying abomination. Just a tip.
Is this really happening? Elfric turned into that thing?
Ugh, it does seem like some kind of sick joke.
So this is the Rite of Rising? Quite the dangerous ritual, if you ask me.
Lady Rhea, monsters have appeared at the cathedral.
Could it be? Perhaps his roar drew them there. Everyone who is capable must fight this beast, now.
Archbishop Rhea, things ended up this way because of me. Please allow me to make up for it.
Yeah, Yuri is kind of the real protagonist of this DLC when you think about it.
Yuri.
It'll give me a chance to hold up my end of the deal. Let me fight for the church.
So very like you to steal the glory in the heat of the moment. Elfric used us. He lied to us and attempted to slay us. Despite that, he provided shelter when I had none.
For ulterior motives, I don't think that really counts.
We must end things swiftly, for his sake.
He's never going to be normal again, is he? For all those years, he tried to make this happen. Bring her back, only to lose himself. It's pretty awful.
He made his choice. All we can do is accept it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with Balthus here.
Let's do all of us a favor and take him out real quick like, yeah?
We'll help too. Together we stand, together we fall.
Yes. You can rely on us until the very end.
Time to lower the curtain on this unfortunate tale.
Is that like, what, the rallying cry of people who don't like this DLC or something?
Please act swiftly, but with great care.
I just realized back then that Viola switched to her angry eyes. She brought them, just in case.
By my order, stop the Umbral Beast. Stop Elf.
You know, you kind of didn't even need to order us to do that. Like, a lot of people would die if we didn't. Yeah, I probably shouldn't be talking a lot here, but I'm impressed that this seems to have its own unique map theme. At least the connecting thing means we get to hear more of the song. Okay, so we're... Okay, it is indeed a new map. But it's a very small one. And yeah, it's pretty much just us and the Umbral Beast. Chalice of Blood is your weapon, okay. Creststone Shards and the Blood of the Four, okay. Death Blow, hit plus 20, and Vantage. You gotta watch out for that. Your stats don't look that high. Independence. Spawn from the Chalice of Beginnings. It is equal in power to the children of the goddess. Really? I don't know. Whoa! Okay then. Full body attack that deals damage equals up to 20% of foes' HP. Moves this unit and all foes. Well, that's interesting. Also, that's a really terrifying looking skill that you have there. Let me just quickly check it. Umbral Leech. Unit absorbs HP from phantoms. Okay, well there are no phantoms on the map yet, but I'll bear that in mind. Manifest oh, so you're like the summoners from Sacred Stones, except a giant monster version. Enhanced Fortitude. Halves all damage taken, negates some abilities and combat arts. I'm guessing lethality is one of them. And prevents unit from being moved. Okay, so it's like a better version of the commander skill. And counterattack. Okay, so that makes sense. So, and you have 1 to 4 range anyway. Interesting. And you only have 11 attack speed. Yeah, I think Yuri should be leading the charge here. I wonder if I should maybe swap Hilda back to Warrior just so everyone has a battalion. Speaking of battalions, I noticed a few of our battalions are a little low. Yeah, this is almost certainly the end. Like, there's no way this isn't the end of this DLC, and that means they probably give you a bit too many smithing stones, but... Yeah, they kind of advertise this as resource management, and they're like, here, have 99 smithing stones so you can repair all your weapons to your heart's content. No, I'm not going to make Edelgard an armor. But I am going to... Okay, that will... Okay, no, he needs the extra range.
What do you think? Is this me?
Well, obviously, it's you. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna... Because we might not need to move all that much here. And my flyers, I think Claude will take one flank, Dimitri will take the other flank, and in the center we have... I guess we can see how Hilda and Edelgard compare. Okay, yeah, Edelgard has considerably better strength. But that's probably because Hilda was spending ages in Pegasus Knight, so the growths were affected, and she's been a warrior this whole time. Yeah, Balthor should probably start a little bit closer. And yeah, I need to give Hilda back her battalion. Because we're going to need all the battalions we can muster here. Yeah, I'll have to see if he can use his staggering blow repeatedly or not, but I think we're pretty much... are there any weapons that I need to repair desperately? That. And probably this. I mean, there's no reason not to spend all the gold I have here. None of it's going to carry over. Okay, let's save. And move out.
This magnificent cathedral will collapse if this continues for much longer.
Oh, the irony. It's going to collapse in a few months anyway.
That abomination sure as hell isn't going to back down. We've got no choice but to go all in.
He's isolated. Let's surround him. Close the distance in one fell swoop.
Don't be rash. Conventional rules don't apply in a battle like this.
Nice fourth wall break there.
He's right. We have no way of knowing what that beast is capable of. We must proceed with caution.
Well, besides its stat screen, which actually revealed quite a lot of what it's capable of. Okay.
Stay focused.
Well, let's obviously begin this with Byleth. Yeah, that's not a lot of damage. Oh, it actually is like the cathedral, like the place that you explore in the monastery. That looks horrifying. Oh, and it looks a lot like Rhea's Berserk form too, so yeah, there must be some correlation there. So yeah, this map, this is basically what I hoped Silver Snow's final chapter's map would be. Like, I hope that Silver Snow's final chapter would take place inside the cathedral. So I guess I'm finally getting that wish. That's probably not gonna work. Yeah. So I guess I can instead... I think a regular heal's enough.
Thank you.
You know, it's actually kind of interesting, because when I was going to do my Golden Tier... well, we'll have to see if Yuri's recruitable on Golden Tier. He probably is. But when I was going to do my Golden Tier Maddening walkthrough, I was thinking of using female Byleth, just because I did 2 full blind runs with male Byleth. And I was thinking of air supporting her with Felix, but now I'm kind of leaning towards Byleth and Yuri, because Yuri's pretty important in the DLC, and I kind of like to give him a bigger role in the main storyline.
Let me at him.
So, yeah, let's...
I will prevail.
I mean, I say that, and then I... Okay, you are now magically going for Edelgard. Does that mean you double her, or... I mean, there's no point in equipping anything, because none of us will be able to counter him, no matter what he does. Except, Ash. No, not even Ash, unless he uses, like, a longbow or something.
Me?
But yeah, I was saying, like, I say that, and then I'm generally kind of opposed to shipping 2 characters just because they're main characters. Crom and Robin. Yeah, I kind of prefer to see them as platonic friends, but still. And I'm also not, like, totally big on, like, I'm not against, like, I've said this before, I'm not against Byleth and Dimitri as a ship, but I'm also, like, I also personally prefer, I don't know, keeping Byleth and Dimitri's stories sort of separate. And I do think it kind of cheapens things a little to say that Dimitri only changed because of Byleth's love. That's my main take on that. Okay, suddenly you're attacking her.
Thank you.
Nice crest activation there. Nice activation of the major... Is it? No, it's minor. It's minor, isn't it? Yeah. Wait, is it? Yeah, it's minor. The minor crest of I mean, censored by order of Zenith. Okay. Hi there, Mr. Big Demon Beast. What are you doing? Oh!
An illusion. And it looks just like Elfric.
Well, I knew you'd summon phantoms. I didn't expect them to be more of you.
I'm not sure I can fight him.
That's really creepy.
Even if it's not really him.
Don't worry, Happy. I can.
Yes, Hilda's always up for throwing an axe in somebody's face. Yeah, okay, you drain.
The beast can feed off these illusions somehow?
Yes, Ash, his stat screen said that.
Its wounds are healing. How troublesome.
You know what's also troublesome? It attacking you. Like, I'm not sure why he decided to go for Edelgard there. I think Byleth would have, yeah. Oh, okay. This is getting out of hand. Now there are 3 of him! We should not have made this bargain. They're all stationary, though, it seems, but they do have Ragnarok. This is interesting. And you're AoEing, okay. If I can, I would very much like to break your armor now. And I think Edelgard's in a good spot to do that. Battalion, oh yeah, you've got one of those 3-way ones. Let's just go... Okay, thankfully, it has not a horrendously bad hit rate as, against
We won't hold back.
Insane Raya, but I'm not really sure, like, if it's not hard. I've heard that Cindered Shadows on hard is actually pretty bad, so I'm kind of glad that it's not, that I'm not playing this on hard. Okay, so we've got a bunch of crack panels over there. Really, Dimitri should be, because, yeah, that's gonna break anyway. But I can crack a whole... I think, actually, maybe Dimitri going down the center there, although there's an Alfric in the way. I'm not... Like, that's a sentence I never thought I'd say, but yeah. You can't do that, because there is an Alfric in the way. Speaking of there being an Alfric in the way, maybe I should be taking out that Alfric and then going for a gambit there. So I think I can... I feel... No, they have 60 HP. I can't really one-shot them. Or can I? Steal... with... Nope. Okay. Well, if I could, I one-shot them. But I think I'll go for this anyway. Please miss me. And I was about to say, or kill the crit, but she didn't. Good. Okay, that's one dead Alfric. So I guess we get to beat up the villain of this chapter multiple times in effigy form. I think that's fine.
You can't hear me now. Not like this. Not anymore. You really are a damn fool. You know that?
I kind of feel like this guy is like what Carlisle from Sacred Stone should have been. You know, someone going mad and doing crazy things out of being in love with someone. Yeah. Because Carlisle... Selling out your country to the enemy is not exactly a logical consequence of being in love with that country's queen. Just saying. But here, like, it's a pretty cliche plot point, honestly, but I'm okay with it. Like, I don't mind Alfric as an antagonist. I think he's okay. Like, of course, he doesn't compare to, you know, the antagonist of the main story, but, like, he's still not bad, honestly. There have been far worse. Like, I am also one to say, though, like, I don't think villains always have to have tragic backstories. Like, I don't think that's always necessary. But with Alfred, there's kind of a decent argument to be made for, like... Again, it all kind of depends. Like, me personally right now, I'm definitely on... Nobody has Luna, do they? So I kind of want to take you out with some kind of magic. But, what I was saying is, like, I'm kind of... Like, I don't know, like, everyone says you're supposed to feel really bad for Alfric. You're supposed to be like, oh, you know, he's just the tragic person who tried to resurrect someone, and oh, you know, he gave the Ashen Wolves shelter. That was so nice of him, but he did that because he wanted to gather them all in one place so he could use their blood to revive his dead, the dead person that he was in love with. I don't know, like that's just kind of the thing where like this is getting into some maybe somewhat heavy stuff, but like there's been some, I don't know, like that. Like, I think it's a, I've never seen this or had much experience with it, but I think it's like an Into the Woods song, something like called, like, nice is not good, and like, just because someone's being nice to you, they could have an ulterior motive and they're trying to, you know, do something horrible and deceive you and stuff, but like, the way that I see it, if you're doing something, and this plays into that discussion I had with the jerk with a heart of jerk trope before, if you're doing something like, purely for selfish reasons, like with Alfric being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give these people a home so I can gather them all in one place and enact an immoral ritual that will suck out all their blood, then, well, that's not being nice. Like, it just doesn't count. So, anyway. You know what I just realized? This thing actually has a red beard, and it's a dragon, so that makes it a Barbarossa. So little did Claude know he was riding on something that was actually related to the final boss of this all along. Okay, so you are armor broken now, you're going to skip your next turn, so I don't need to worry about anybody taking damage right now, so I can just afford to go ham with like everything I've got. He's still pretty bulky. Although, is the Sword of the Creator even effective against him? I don't... Oh, I think Ruptured Heaven is. Yeah, I'm used to legendary weapons always being effective against dragons, but no, Byleth's one is only... That does exactly the same amount of damage, doesn't it? Yeah, Ruptured Heaven... No, I think I actually do more by attacking you normally. And yeah, here's Hilda and Yuri getting a support support boost with Byleth because I gave them, well, they both had ranged weapons anyway, but you get the idea. Giving everyone bows is apparently a pretty useful tactic. Can I... Oh, right, you're always effective against monsters, but I need to be careful how close I put you to him. Oh, Death barely does anything more. 5 might versus 6... Death only has 6 might? Oh, it's Hades that's the ridiculously good one. Okay, that makes sense now. I mistook Death and Hades for a bit there. No bolting, obviously, but can I... Well, I can double with that, let's do it.
This is what comes of meddling with a sacred tool commissioned by the progenitor god.
Or, you know, from meddling with something that was sealed away hundreds of years ago in a fantasy setting. Like, nothing good ever comes from that, usually. I can think like the one time something good came from that was like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 at the very beginning.
But clearly it's too late to scold you at this point. For now, we must focus on dealing with the result. Yeah!
Okay, that's 1 health bar down. Constance has definitely been the overall MVP of Cindered Shadows to me. But I don't know if that's still the case on the higher difficulties. I feel like on the higher difficulties, she might not be able to double nearly as much. Okay, so gotta remember that those three crystals mean you actually have 4 health bars, because you still have 1 more health bar once they're all gone. May as well fish for a critical here.
He's gone now. Transformed into that thing. Sometimes the world's too horrible to wrap my head around.
Or sometimes people just do horrible things and bring this upon themselves. Yeah, I'm sorry, like, some people might feel sympathy towards this guy. I really don't feel much sympathy towards him at all. Like, he was doing some pretty awful things just to, again... I mean, it's weird because, like, when you think about it, it is very similar to Rhea, but, like, Rhea never actually killed anyone to bring back Sothis, is the thing. Like, she just created artificial bodies, and none of them required a blood sacrifice for them to work. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know, it does kind of, And yeah, like, some people think that... Okay, so am I doing... How much damage am I doing to you with this? Decent amount, but... I'd rather just have this guarantee of being able to take out an Alfred without needing to worry about Ragnarok in the face.
Couldn't weather the storm, huh?
But yeah, it's just like... It's just kind of interesting to think about, because I feel like Rhea's worst things are the whole distorting history and again, like, this is very much a your mileage may vary thing. Like, I personally don't think she's responsible for all the corrupt nobles who took the crest system the wrong way. I know a lot of people do think she is, but I'm very much on blaming individuals for their actions and not society. Which is something that I will definitely talk about if I end up playing Persona 4, because I feel like, yeah, let's just say one of Persona 4's villains very much sums up my worldview on that. It's not to say that, like, you should ignore corruption in society, but I am saying that you shouldn't let that distract you from the fact that people are still responsible for their actions, and you shouldn't absolve criminals of their, like, completely ignore the guilt of criminals just because they say, oh, it's not my fault, society made me this way. But anyway, like, yeah, I do feel like Rhea's worst actions really didn't have much to do with bringing back. So like there is Violet. There is the fact that she kind of was gonna get Sothis to override Violet's personality. So I guess, yeah, that could be considered killing someone to bring Sothis back. But the thing is that
You might as well give up.
she eventually realizes she was wrong about that. Although you don't find that out unless you play Silver Snow and go all the way to the end of Silver Snow, which is like the only difference Silver Snow has from the other routes. But still, like Alfric Alfric's causing a lot more collateral damage over bringing back someone. And like, he's not even really considering what's gonna happen if he does successfully bring her back, and she's like, what the hell did you just do to revive me? Although I do also like how it doesn't feel like Alfric is doing this because he hopes that when she comes back, she'll love him. I don't think he's doing that. I think he does it just because he just respects her as a person and he just wants her back. He doesn't like want her for himself or anything like that. He just wants her to be alive again. So that actually definitely does I don't know, like, make him not quite as bad as he could be, but he's still, you know, did some pretty awful things all to do something to revive someone who probably wouldn't approve of being revived in this manner. Kind of reminds me a little bit of this character in Tales of Symphonia that I often bring up when it comes to this. Although in that case, like, that character actually does succeed in temporarily bringing back the dead person they're obsessed with. And this person says, like, right to their face, why have you killed all these people just to bring me back? That is awful. I don't approve of this. Please stop. And at that point, I'm kind of spoiling Tales of Symphonia right now, but I just like this moment because it really just shows how far gone this person is. They're just like, no, I know you. You would never say that to me. You obviously are not this person that I'm trying to resurrect. I refuse to accept that you just said that. And, like, that's like truly the point where you're like, dude, yeah, you've lost it. You've completely lost it. There's no coming back for you now. So, anyway, just a few musings on some villains in various media that I feel remind me a little bit of this guy. I don't think I will... Yeah, I need Happy to be fully healed. I could Gambit him, though, because that means I don't risk a counterattack. If I equip something other than Death, though, will he not attack you? No, he will still attack you, okay, so I can Gambit you just fine. And I can also use Claude to Gambit. I'll give my final thoughts on Cindered Shadows after I'm done with everything, but as many negative things as I've said about this, I do still enjoy it. I do think there's a lot in it that, you know, they didn't, I don't know, that they could have done a little differently, and in particular, my main criticism is the way they use all of the main lords. Like, honestly, there's no real reason for Claude, Edelgard, and Dimitri to be here, other than the fact that they're iconic and popular characters from this game. There's not a lot that Edelgard, Claude, and Dimitri do in Cindered Shadows that could not have been done exactly the same way by a different character. Okay, I do need to remember that if I do manage to completely take him out, then I don't need to worry about the clones at all. And can I do that? Can I do that? That's the real question. I could attempt it and then Divine Pulse back if I don't manage to. No, I need to do 16 to you first. That is enough, but then Yuri will die. And are you in Vantage yet? No, you have Death Blow and Hit plus 20, but you don't have Vantage yet. But I gotta remember that you will get Vantage soon. Well, I know Dimitri sure as heck will be able to do 16, but that... yeah, I don't know.
Hey.
Oh, not quite enough. That'll do it, though. And yeah, I need to do this now, because otherwise you get Vantage and kill her. And doing this by breaking a health bar and get countered. Okay, last health bar, let's do this. We can probably ignore the Alfrix. Do you just have... yeah, no, you had that before. Okay, 151. I think I can do this. It might depend on how many crits I get, but I can probably still do this.
Here's your answer.
Well, there's one. Huh, I've heard that's actually a unique critical quote that only plays against very specific enemies. Like to fellow students or things like that, so... because I don't think I've heard that one before. Apparently it's more common on Crimson Flower, I think, but... I think because I was going out of my way to not kill people during the main storyline, that's probably why I didn't hear much about that. So either 18 or 15, but 15 perfectly safe damage, which I might need later on. $26 or... nah, this is more. I do feel like the combat arts would be more... that was useful! I do feel like the combat arts would be more useful on hard.
This battle is finished.
Well, now it is! That was a fitting quote. Yeah, is that one of Dimitri's special critical quotes? Because I don't think I've heard that one before. Then again, that's a pre-time skip quote. But it was fitting. I mean, this battle definitely is finished. Ash? MVP? Really? I mean, I suppose that, like, the boss is, like, only... to quote Gimli, still only counts as one, so... Ash killed a couple of Alfrix, I suppose? Anyway, that wasn't a bad chapter. It's basically just one boss fight, but it was still decent. I wonder how that would be on hard, but maybe I don't want to know. So now it's time for the aftermath. Is he going to return to normal just long enough to die?
It is finished.
Yeah, Dimitri just said that.
Well done, everyone. Because of you, her restless soul has finally found peace.
You know, that soul that could not have even been brought back into its body, so she probably found peace anyway.
Professor, I imagine you have much on your mind.
And I won't give you all the answers unless you play Silver Snow up until the very end.
I was there the day she brought you forth into this world. Citri had always been frail. Giving birth proved to be too much for her in the end.
Yeah, she was... like, I feel like the clones were not designed to give birth, and... yeah.
On that fated day, it looked as though neither of you would survive. In those final moments, she spoke, saying, "My heart, give it to my child."
I was just thinking, this really is invalidating Silver Snow, the DLC. Because, like, this reveal is pretty much one of the only reasons to play Silver Snow, and you get it spelled out to you in Cindered Shadows. So, yeah, this is gonna make people hate Silver Snow even more.
That is correct. The heart that lies within your chest is none other than hers. It was the only way that you could be saved. But Citri loved others, much as a human might. And I loved her in return. Citri looked upon me as though I was her mother, and I wished for her to have a bright future.
So, awkwardness of the Byleth and Rhea ship just increased by another factor of 100.
I would not have her buried in the cold, dark soil. Prior to her funeral, I arranged for a fake burial. Afterward, I brought her body to Abyss, where I would sometimes visit her.
Okay, so here's the part where I feel like, yeah, Rey is starting to not tell the full truth, because I feel like she really did keep her body just in case there was the slightest possibility that she might have been able to use that body to make another Sothis attempt. But despite that, I still think she genuinely did care about her, and she genuinely does visit her from time to time and feel sad.
I never thought that anyone, especially Elfric, would find her. I did not expect for such a tragedy to ensue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the moment you found out that Alfred was the one who found her, your first thoughts were, oh crap. Of all the people to find her, the worst possible person did. Although admittedly, Rey is probably second on the list of worst possible people to find her, but still.
Was Elfric really just using us all that time?
How should I know? I mean, he always acted that way around me. Like we were a means to an end.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was discussing, like, during the chapter. Maybe it is a case of... would you call it reverse Stockholm Syndrome? I mean, TV Tropes calls it becoming the mask, but yeah, by faking caring about them for so long, he actually did genuinely come to care about them.
But the church records indicate he founded the Ashen Wolf House 15 years ago. He mentioned he found Citri 10 years ago. So it seems he really did mean well, at first.
Oh, okay. So, forget everything that I said during the chapter, okay. So, he originally did want to make a place where these people could be safe, but then he found Citri, and then he was like, okay. But I don't think any of those four were they wouldn't have been in the Ashen Wolf's house back then, because they're not old enough for that, so yeah. I think maybe him gathering them into the Ashen Wolf house, that was probably for selfish motives at first, but maybe he did come to care about them genuinely later.
What's done is done. He's gone, and we're here. That's what matters now.
You're always so quick to adapt to change, Happy. I should follow your example.
Yeah, you always get to the heart of things quickly. Right then, I've got a lot to take care of now. I need to fill the church in on all the details about how things actually played out. And with my people freed from the monastery prison, they'll need to be accounted for.
Good luck with that whole mess. I'll be rooting for you from afar.
Or from the same house as you if you're both recruited.
Surely you'll let us know if there is any way at all we can help. We'd be just thrilled.
Hell, if you want, your people can be my people. I could use some good mercenaries to watch my back.
Enough already. I get it.
It's no less than you deserve.
What you have sown, now you shall reap.
You made your bed, now shut up about it, pal.
So he's basically saying, you're stuck with the three of us now, whether you like it or not.
Anyway, what do you figure will happen to Abyss? The church will want to step in, no doubt.
Yeah, I was wondering about this. I wonder what happens to Abyss on all of the 4 different paths.
You got me. After everything that's happened, things can't stay the same. The church will probably assign an official to oversee things. Hopefully whoever they choose knows how to get along with Abyssians well.
Hopefully whoever they choose doesn't happen to be in love with a dead person and willing to do anything to bring her back.
Let's worry about all that some other time, yeah? I could really use a tall drink and a long sleep.
Maybe now Abyss finally gets good wine, and that's like the capstone to this story. It was all a story about how Abyss's bar got good wine.
I'm with you. I hurt in places I didn't even know could hurt.
Yeah, due to taking a giant blood splatter fireball to the face.
It has been a terribly long night indeed. One I won't ever forget.
Wait, did all of this take place over one night?
A terribly long night, but a beautiful morning.
Yeah, looking up that stained glass window that's going to be smashed in a few months.
You mean to say that you are disbanding us?
Yes. After speaking with the Cardinals, my decision is final. The Ashen Wolf House was originally established for youths who are in need of the Church's protection.
Edelgard sees the distance.
Somewhere along the way, that intent was corrupted, and it ultimately became a cage for you. The Ashen Wolves are officially disbanded. You can consider this a graduation of sorts.
You can doll this up by calling it graduating, but you're the one who sent me to Abyss to begin with. Now you waltz in here and tell us to just go live our lives as if none of this ever happened?
You may continue living in Abyss, of course. Abyss will always be a refuge for those who need it most.
Well, I mean, it'll probably get even more people in a few more months when the war starts.
Your chains have been unbound. You are free to live as you wish now.
Oh, okay, so them all having chain motifs on their outfits was a metaphor, as I thought.
You ask me, this feels like good timing. This sounds pretty alright, Rhea.
After all I have been through, I must say I feel immense gratitude at the prospect of living freely.
Like, I can just imagine Edelgard is just outside listening in on this, just constantly seething with anger, going like, and then after they all leave, she's gonna ambush them and say, so, Rhea did set you free, but really, if you really want to be free, maybe you should actually consider not joining her, and maybe consider doing something with me in a few months.
You're just going to let me go? While I was working with the church, I still did some unsavory things.
Yeah, what exactly did you do?
You have already been judged for your transgressions, Yuri.
And so, you will be executed right now. Just kidding. I like to mess with people like that. Except when I don't and when I actually do execute them.
You have slain the undeserving. The weight of that is yours to bear.
Wow, that is like that is a really, really dark line, and she just says that with just such a calm voice. It's like, okay, you will forever be haunted by the people that you killed.
You have time to contemplate your actions now. That is punishment.
Like, just saying that with just such a calm voice is just a bit weird.
What's with the woe is me act? She's saying you're a free man.
True enough. It's up to me to determine how I'll live my life now. How I'll make up for what I've done.
Yeah, the thing is, like, we don't know what you've done. So, yeah, you're telling me that this is like the end of a redemption arc, but we don't know what you need to be redeemed for, because everything like you did, well, what I've said, everything that Yuri did in this DLC, nobody really died for it, and he made sure that it was just, and it was saving his friends and the people who were imprisoned. I am still wondering about whether Yuri will be recruitable on Crimson Flower or not.
You made up your mind quickly, despite having ample time to think it through.
You will also... Speaking of having ample time, I have an offer for all four of you as well. A counter-offer, if you will. I would like it if you took the time to think that through.
Someone of my many talents must make decisions in short order. I'm in high demand after all. The Ferdiad Royal School of Sorcery demands my presence post-haste. How could I deny them?
Oh, okay. Interesting. So, you've got a bit of a connection to Blue Lions as well now.
Soon, the name Nouvelle shall be renowned all throughout the Imperial capital. Prepare yourself.
Of course, the moment that you step outside, you'll be like, actually, the name Nouvelle will vanish from the pages of history forever.
Didn't you already attend that school? Leaving and going back seems... well, good luck with that.
Maybe I'll try to see my family again.
Who is your family?
It's been forever, but now seems like as good a time as...
No, really, who is your family? I'm really interested that you can support Dimitri.
The whole thing might be a drag, though, so maybe I'll come straight back to Abyss.
I think yeah. Yep. I'll find a way to hit it big. Make tons of money.
If you find someone with pink hair and orange armor who says that he has a good way to make a ton of money, don't listen to him. You'll get 100 more debt collectors chasing you.
It's about time the indebted king of grappling finally paid down all those damn debts.
You could always ask my brother to help you out. Seems like a good way to go, really.
Well, I mean, you're part of that family. You probably have a lot of money, so maybe you could do it. Hilda, just saying.
Borrow from Holst? That's a hard no. Wouldn't dare to trouble my best pal like that.
Especially not when his personal debt collector is Blilda.
That's enough about me. What are you going to do now, boss?
Who knows? For now, I'll take some time to think. My main concern at this point is taking care of my people back in my hometown.
And who are those people? Please tell me.
You mean you'll continue your former line of work?
No need to beat around the bush. And yeah, that's the plan. It's what I'm best at. But I can approach things differently now. Change how I live. Find ways to thrive in peace, you know?
Don't talk about ways to thrive in peace now. It's before the time skip.
Makes sense to me. I wish you all the best.
Thanks, friend. Right back at you. We both deserve to live our lives freely. I may end up back home after all this, but I worry about how my rogues here would fare without a boss.
Always worrying about everyone but yourself. Stop with that already, yeah?
There you go, being cute again. Though I'm certain if you're around, Abyss and everyone in it will be just fine.
Maybe? We still don't know what's gonna happen to that place when the war hits.
We'll keep an eye on Abyss as well. Isn't that right, you two?
About that, I only trust one of the 3 people in this picture to keep an eye on Abyss.
Absolutely. That place is a treasure trove of secrets. Just try to keep me away.
I take that back, now I trust none of them.
I trust your motives are not all so selfish, Claude. And yes, we promise to protect Abyss in your absence.
Boss! Boss! You can't just leave us high and dry like this! Where will we go? What will we do?
I should have known. Humans are adaptable creatures. I'll sort it out just fine.
So, I'm guessing they become a battalion that you can buy, maybe?
Relax, will ya? We all know Yuri's not the type to abandon his pals. He's a guy who always turns up when he's needed. Hell, we should all be taking notes from him.
The world's a dreary place. We could all use a little help now and again.
As long as we're all here for each other as true friends, we can live our lives to the fullest.
Unless you only recruit some of us and not the others, because I'm just wondering about that. Like, do some of them become enemies post-time skip if you don't recruit them, depending on route? Because I feel like Yuri would definitely fight against you on Crimson Flower if he wasn't recruited. Friends. I'm sorry, it's just weird that you just see the one word friends just appear with just ... after it. It just sounds like... It just reminds me too much of a certain character from Tales of Graces.
You heard me. You're all my friends. You matter. You always will.
That seems like a good note to end on.
More kind of meta lines.
Sure does. Get you later, pals. I mean, friends.
Huh, I wonder if that's Nakama in Japanese.
With that, I bid you farewell.
Yeah, I'd probably pronounce that horribly.
And so it is. Until next time, friend.
Did Yuri get the last word? Because he's currently my favorite of the 4, so if he did, I'm happy. Hey, Yuri got the last word, unless there's an after credits scene. So, yeah. Now, I was just thinking about this as I was watching the last scenes. You know what this mode reminds me of? And this is... People are gonna probably complain that I'm comparing it to this, but just hear me out for a second. It reminds me of Lin mode. I don't mean the tutorials, I mean like... It's just kind of a nice, self-contained story that just kind of happens on its own and is decent enough for what it is. And that's just how I feel about this. This really felt to me like I was playing a classic Fire Emblem game. And to be honest, okay, I don't totally hate the school elements of the main storyline, but I did kind of find it refreshing to have Abyss explorable and being able to walk around, talk to people, and buy weapons, do forging and all that, but without all the baggage of activity points and fishing and classroom teaching and all of that. Just having it be a traversable base with people to talk to and stuff to buy. I like that personally. And I almost feel like maybe this game might not have been as incredibly long as it is if it had just been treated like that. Don't know how they would have handled weapon skills and exams and things like that. And again, I don't totally hate the school mechanics, but I definitely appreciated it this way. It felt like a natural extension of the base in the Tellius games, rather than being a kind of more of a social simulator kind of thing. So that I liked. And yeah, I think obviously this story is nothing revolutionary at all, but it's decent for what it is. And really to me it only looks lacking if you compare it to how insanely good the main storyline of the game is. As a self-contained thing, it's not a bad story, and I think it's decent for what it is. Though I do feel like Balthus, of the 4 Ashen Wolves, I did feel Balthus was a little bit maybe generic at first. That might change if I get his supports, but really he just came across as your stock dumb strong guy. Whereas everyone else was, I mean, Happy. I feel like I need to look at Happy's supports to find out more about her. And Constance, I don't know, like, for all the flack I gave her whole bipolar thing, you don't see much of her gloomy personality at all. In fact, not much about the plot would change if that aspect of her didn't exist, and I actually much prefer Constance as she is indoors, so... And Yuri, well, I've said my piece about Yuri. I think he's a solid character. He's pretty much exactly that one fake traitor character from Tales of Symphonia. Like, in a lot of ways, he's pretty similar. But I think it's decent. I don't think it's an archetype they did badly, and just because something is cliché doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. Same with Alfric. I've already said my piece about Alfric as a villain. I think he works fine. Like, again, like, it's hard when you're compared to the villains of the actual main story, but Alfric is, well, I mean, he's definitely better than those who slither in the dark, I'll give him that much. But yeah, overall, I did actually enjoy this. My main complaints I've already gone into. It's weird talking about complaints while there's happy music playing. My main complaints are that what I said in Chapter 5. Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude, you didn't get to see any of what makes them such great characters here. They were all just kind of people who were just there and just randomly commented on things. This is a problem that I find can happen with series that have big ensemble casts. Whenever you're writing a story, you always have to ask yourself, does this character really need to be here? Does this character being here add anything? And to me, I would resoundingly say no for Edelgard, Claude, and Dimitri. There was like one moment here, one line that I felt, okay, only Dimitri could have said that. And that was the bit where Dimitri was talking about Abyss being a safe haven for people to run away to and how good that must be. I could understand that knowing Dimitri's character from the main storyline. But let's look at Edelgard. Now obviously, because they haven't done the Flame Emperor reveal yet, they can't really explore much of how Edelgard really should be reacting to Abyss. But like, this is a place where there's a lot of people here, they kind of have their own standing army, and none of them like Rhea or the church very much. Edelgard must be thinking that she's stumbled upon a gold mine here. And you can't see any of those kind of thoughts she's having, because they have to keep that reveal. So it's understandable why they do this, because this is set before that all happens, but I wish they'd gone into more of the ethical issues of the Abyss, and like, I wish that the 3 lords had each had a plan for what to do with Abyss, because that would have tied things into the main story without directly spoiling the directions Edelgard and Dimitri's characters would end up going in. So I did kind of miss that, but on the other hand, it's a bit refreshing to have a storyline in 3 houses without any giant moral and political dilemmas involved. But yeah, as it stands, like, the other characters, really only Linhardt was the person that I felt really needed to be here. Linhardt definitely gave a lot of good insight with his research and his whole stuff on crests. It made sense for Linhardt to be here. But Ash is really only here so you have someone who can open locks. Nothing Ash does in this story is something only Ash could do, if that makes any sense. You could have replaced Ash with any number of other characters, and nothing about the plot would have changed. And that's a shame, because what I'm getting at is there's nothing more annoying than really, really liking a character, and seeing them shoehorned into a plot that they're not supposed to be in, and them not really working. My other main criticism with this plot is the blatant case of Remember the New Guy with Alfric, and to a lesser extent, Balthus. Remember the New Guy is a TV trope that is almost always groan-inducing. I've explained that before, during, I think, the end of Chapter 2 I talked about that. Alfric is exactly like that. He's a cardinal, and you'd think somebody would talk about it. I mean, they say the cardinals are a closely guarded secret, but still. And he was friends with Geralt and Violet's mother, Citri. Like, Geralt never thought to mention him at all, the whole game. And here's the thing, this game has no shortage of characters who they talk about a lot, but never appear. Holst, for example, and Count Burgleys. I think that maybe if the DLC had focused on characters like that, characters who you knew existed already and you knew were a big deal in the world, but who never appeared, that would have been really cool. But instead we got Balthus who says, oh hey, I'm Holst's best friend, even though nobody ever mentioned me during the main game. To me, I feel the only time the Remember the New Guy trope really works is if there is a very justifiable in-story reason as to why that character was never mentioned. Like, oh, you know that long-lost uncle that you had who just reappeared? There's a reason we never mentioned him. He murdered someone. That's a bit of an extreme example, but you get the idea. But enough negativity. Those are my 2 cents on Cindered Shadows. As for where I'll go from here, I really feel like I can't make any concrete judgment on the Ashen Wolves until I see their support conversations, at least with Byleth. But that requires me to do an entire new playthrough just to recruit them. And I also probably need to react to their post-timeskip designs if they have them. Balthus is old enough to probably not have one. So maybe not him, but yeah. But I don't really want to have to do an entire new playthrough, so I don't know what to do about this. I'll see. If I end up recording their support conversations later, I might do that. If I do another playthrough, I might just do their support, skip them, and then one day record my blind reactions to their support, viewing them from the support library. Or I could leave their supports blind until I eventually do my Golden Deer walkthrough. Speaking of which, I'm going to go ahead and look up right now Serenae's Forest just to see if any of them are not recruitable on certain routes. Because I'm wondering, like, why would Yuri even be recruitable on Crimson Flower? So, the Church of Seros, is there any info on Serenae's Forest on the Ashen Wolves at all? Yeah. Is Yuri recruitable on all routes? Oh, here we go. Recruiting Ashen Wolves. This is a game FAQs topic, so I'm not really sure how you recruit them, blah, blah. Okay. I'm not reading anything about Yuri not being recruitable on Crimson Flower. Let's just see. Is Yuri recruitable on Crimson Flower? I mean, by this point, someone's probably told me. But, recruiting Mercedes on Crimson Flower? No. Fire Emblem Wiki has absolutely nothing on Yuri during the war phase. Oh, it does have endings. He has a Crimson Flower ending with Byleth. Then again, so does Hilda. So that's not really saying much. Okay, so, yeah, I'm not sure. By this point, someone's probably already told me, but from the looks of things, you can actually recruit all 3... You can recruit all 4 of them on any route. So, anyway, with that, yeah, that's the end of Cindered Shadows. I hope you've enjoyed my blind impressions on Cindered Shadows, and I will see you all next time. Actually, wait a minute. I think you get something after this, like a skill scroll or something, so I probably should record my reaction to it. Okay, I have cleared game data for Cindered Shadows. Rewards for clearing have been added via DLC supplies in the main... Dang it, okay. I need to reload one of my old files to do this. Well, okay, there's lots of blue quests available. Those must be DLC ones, but, DLC supplies. Where is it? Here you go, DLC supplies. Cindered Shadows reward. Chalice of Beginnings. Nullifies extra effectiveness, allows... Well, that's broken as all get out. Okay, then. That's like, oh, anyone gets the counterattack skill? Okay, if I do, like, a full walkthrough of Golden Deer, I am not using that. That seems way too good. Yeah, that's a little bit ridiculous. But as long as I am still here and still recording commentary, I thought I'd actually look up the characters page on TV Tropes and see if it has the post-time skip designs of all of them. Oh, okay, I just looked and saw that, yes, as I guessed, Happy was indeed experimented on by Cornelia. Oh, okay, just looking at TV Tropes, apparently the reason why Yuri is recruitable on Crimson Flower is I fight for the strongest side. It says he doesn't like fighting losing battles and wants to ensure the safety of his people. I guess that kind of makes sense. Okay, Constance does have a post-time skip design, so I'll be showing just a small portrait of it on screen now. She just kind of has longer hair. Doesn't look that different, but it's pretty alright. Whoa, okay, Happy looks very different after the time skip, and yeah, well, she looks really cool, actually. Okay, definitely like Happy's post-time skip design. Now, I have a feeling Balthus may not have one. He might be too old to have one. Let's see. No, Balthus has a post-time skip design, and wow, yeah, he really went for a full barbarian look there. Actually, it looks a little bit like Dunban now that I think about it, too. Dunban with wilder hair. Now, TV Tropes did say some things about Yuri that makes me think he might not have a... No, he does have a post-time skip portraits. And, wow, this... I don't know if anyone else thinks this. This looks very Fire Emblem 4. This looks a lot like Larce's portraits. So, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, that one's pretty cool, but only because I like FE4, and this reminds me a lot of an FE4 portrait. So, yeah, I guess you did get to see my reactions to the post-time skip designs of all 4 of them. And with that, now I will really end here. So, I will see you all in whatever I plan to do next.